Hello, everyone, and welcome to Call Sign Charlie Models for day 4 of the Revell 148 scale B-1B. Now, in day 3, what we did was we got done with all the lumps and bumps and antenna and everything going onto the fuselage using different sets from Barracuda Studios and Bone Fragments right there. So today what we're going to be working on is getting the wing root area done with that little wing glove that goes in. We have some modifications to do to the kit for that. And then also I do believe that we have some modifications that we need to do to the main fuselage for the res kit intake and engine set that need to be done. So we're going to go ahead and take care of all of that today. And then next week we should be getting the fuselage halves together. So let's get the camera turned around so we can get to work on the bench. I will see you in a second. Alright, so we are starting off with the 3D printed wing glove area. I looked on eBay and I could not find it. I bought this a long time ago, so sadly it's not up on eBay right now, but it might be in the future. So definitely if you're interested in this set, keep an eye out for it on eBay. That's where I got it from, and you can see the detail in it. Absolutely amazing. It's all 3D printed, no issues, and just some minor modifications. Yes, it took a little bit to get done, but it wasn't too bad. As you saw, I was making a tape box to make sure that I try to stay on frame on here. So that was part of the issues of some of my previous videos was I would constantly go off frame and not notice it until it was too late. So I'm trying this tip from one of you guys, and from what I could tell today, it definitely helped. Didn't have to cut out as many parts for going off camera. So thank you for that tip, and definitely will be using this in the future. Now I'm just getting the 3D print supports cut off and then the parts cleaned up. Not much to it. Pretty easy to do. And there's no like really fragile, delicate parts to worry about when cutting these off. This part is definitely going to be an upgrade to what is provided in the kit, like the rest of the kit. Um, the detail on it is very poor. Um, I would either, I would even rather have a vinyl set for this than what is provided in the kit. So, but with this upgrade set, definitely adds a lot of extra detail to it, and then you can see some of the detail that we're going to do a little bit later on with some modifications to the kit and what we're looking for in the future as well. Doing a quick cleanup here. Had all the 3D print supports on the bench. Now we can see where we need to cut. Just one page instructions. After that, we got to use our references to see where everything goes. Now I'm getting my lines for cutting drawn out with a Sharpie right along that edge, marking that off so I know where to cut on both ends. Now on this, for the main part on that flat vertical edge right there, I used the Dremel sanding wheel and got that cut off, but I wanted to saw off the edges first, right there. Repeat for the other side. Nice thin razor saw, fits right in the panel lines, not too thick. And after I'm done with this, I'm going to go off camera, and also I need to cut out this part right here for the res kit engine and intake set. Alright, so the Dremel's all done. I think. Nope, I'm going on the underside right here. Parts that we need to get cut off for the underside. Got to count 5 of those panel lines up. And then we draw a line straight across, up that panel line, and then straight across. And I'm going to mark it off with tape, and then draw my line like that. And repeat for the other side. And when it comes time to fit those res kit pieces in, we'll be doing some more test fitting and might have to sand off a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm using the Dremel to cut off the main piece. I did cut a little bit farther back and then cleaned up with some hand sanding to get to the panel line. The video is sped up, so it looks like I'm going a lot faster than what I actually am. The video is sped up 5 times fast, so that shows you how slow I was actually going when cutting this. My Dremel battery was starting to run low, that's why it keeps on stopping on me. After I get this piece cut off, I take a little break so it can charge up for a little bit before I do some more work for the Dremel. Alright, so one thing I noticed that when I was moving everything around, I kept on hearing popping noises, and that was from the super glue from the Bombay and the landing gear section popping. So I went in with some UV resin glue to really strengthen that bond and hitting it with the UV light now. And then back to the Dremel, like I said, moving slowly and getting it cut a little bit farther back from the line, and I'm going to do some hand cleanup with the sanding sticks a little bit later on. See. I'm using Flory Models sanding sticks, 220 grit. Sadly, Flory Models is not making their sanding sticks anymore. They were absolutely amazing sanding sticks. Um, Otherwise, I use the Infinity Models sanding sponges, which are also very nice, but I really do wish that Flory Models still made the sanding sticks. They do make an amazing Flory Model wash and pigment. I have used the Flory Model washes for 12 years now. They're absolutely amazing. We're going to be getting into those in tomorrow's video with the Oscar from Hobby Boss. Just removing the tape, and then we're going to do some final cleanups on this edge right here, the sanding stick, and then we're just going to go over to the other side. We have some more cleanup to do with the bottom edge of the wing glove area, getting that taken care of. Gonna have to break out the file here in a second to get a straighter edge on that part, saw off, because when you get the sanding sticks, even though it's a stick, you still do get a little bit of a sponge effect on it. Now moving on to the top side of the fuselage, Need to get this edge razor thin almost to get it to fit the wing glove area. Cleaning up some of the Dremel marks and stuff, and now we're going to get into this area that we cut off for the reskit intake set. Everything's good up until we get to that height point right there, and we're going to have to break out the file. We're going to be using two different types of files to get this sanded down. Thank God the sound was off and no microphone was on, because the sound of the file against the plastic was like nails on a chalkboard. It was absolutely horrible. Alright, doing a quick test fit with the wing glove. And now we're ready to start gluing things in, I think. Nope, we got a little bit more sanding to do. We need to get that edge razor thin right there to get it to fit. Broke out the angled file for that. Now we're looking at some reference from the DACO Publications book. There, we're going to see the wing root area as well that we're going to be scratch building next week. Doing a quick test fit of this area right here. One gripe I have is that the manufacturer used left and right instead of port and starboard. Always is a confusion, because is it left and right looking at the aircraft from the back or looking at the aircraft from the front? If they use port and starboard remains the same no matter the no matter which way the aircraft is facing. So we're getting ready to glue on the first piece. Trying to decide which one goes where. That didn't work out, so we need to resand and reapply. This piece glued in really easily without any issues on that. Fit perfectly on top of the other one. Now we're going to get the other one glued in. A little bit more cleanup to do on it. Alright, now the bottom side is done. Now we're moving on to the upper side. Gonna get these glued in real quick after a little bit more cleanup to do. We're doing quick test fit on that. A little bit more cleanup. Great fit on this piece. We're going to be able to get it glued in. Had to do a little bit more cleanup just to make a great fit, a perfect fit. Alright, so now that that piece is glued in, we're going to be moving on to the other side after I hold this for a little bit longer to let it really cure. We're going to be coming back to this here in just a second to take care of some more kit modifications once the other side is glued in. So now this area folds up a little bit. It raises up a little bit when the wings are swept out. So we're going to be cutting these out using the razor saw again. Razor saw is a very thin saw. I love this because it fits right in the panel lines. Doesn't make too big of a cut, unlike if you were to use a scriber to try to cut this panel line, it would make a gigantic gouge in the plastic, but this goes right along the panel line. So we're going to use this. First, I'm lightly scoring along the panel line, and then after that, I can kind of speed up and actually start sawing. clean up the edges from what we just saw, but we need to reattach this piece that fell off. Quick and easy fix, no issues with that. And we're just going to repeat for the other side after we do a quick test on how it looks on the other side. This piece is finally coming off. Do a little bit of cleanup. Then we have some more pieces to cut off. That piece right there we need to cut off, but we're going to do a quick test fit to see how the fuselage halves are fitting. We're going to need to do some work with that back wing glove area. But we'll be able to do that once that section is cut off, because that section also does raise up a little bit when the whole area is in the elevated position. So getting that cut off. Just repeat for this side. And this is the last of the work that we're doing on the kit today. After that, we're going to be pulling out our DACO publications book to do a quick look at the reference to see, just kind of get a plan of what we're going to be doing next week for the internals for this area. So I want to do a little bit, but I don't want to go overboard on it because you really won't be able to see much of it anyways. But if you are able to see, I want to have something back there other than just empty plastic. And also we need a vent that we need to cut out too. As you can see right by my middle finger, just forward of my middle finger, there's a vent that we need to cut out that's not included in the kit. Alright, so that's going to do it for today on the B-1B. Didn't get a lot done, but got a lot done with getting a lot of the modifications done to the fuselage and everything for that wing glove area, and also in preparation for the res kit intake and engine set. We got some of the modifications to the kit done as well. So as you saw, I cut off a lot of the upper surface, because what we're going to be doing later on is we're going to go in and scratch build that wing glove area, as you saw in the reference book right there. So I'm not going to go super hyper detailed on that area because you won't really be able to see anything, but I'm going to at least make some stuff back in there so you can see it if you do look back in there. So that's probably what's up next for this video, or for the B-1B. And that's all I really have. Thank you guys for watching. We're really starting to move forward with this kit here. In probably a couple weeks to a few weeks, we're going to be actually getting the fuselage halves together, and it's going to actually start looking like a bone, which I'm really excited about because this thing has been sitting for way too long. So I'm really happy that I'm getting back into this. Thank you for the Squirrel Blitz of 26, which finally got me motivated to do it. And yeah, so next week, busy week again with this kit, and we're really going to start moving forward. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't yet, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe is free, and hit the bell button for notifications of when I post future videos on the B-1B or any of the other 6 builds I have going on right now. I'm doing daily build videos on each of the 6 projects I have going. So that's all I have for today, but until next time, I hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.